turns out I forgot to film an intro and an outro for this video, so here I am doing it now. In this video, oh, also, I just tried again with the microphone originally with the intro. No, microphone is just a no-go, so, will I use it? Maybe sparingly, but no. It's not a volume issue, it's a quality issue. Like, a $5 microphone is going to sound like a $5 microphone. That's my issue. Anyway, we're making Garfield from Garfield. So, here he is. In all his glory. I think he came out very cute, and I did the black lines are obviously to make him look like he's animated or drawn. He is just shy. He's made to be look like he's sitting down, of course, right? So he's just shy of 8 inches from ear to bum. Perfect to go, well, I don't know, on a shelf. He's got this giant tail behind him. But I think he came out very cute. I've made this pattern before, and I'm pretty sure I talk about this in the video, how this pattern gave me so much trouble. Just because the way it's written is weird, I had to modify the body just to make it legible. So, if you make this pattern, just be very careful. It is free, and everything else was easy to make. Also, mine is very angular compared to the one in the pattern, which is, of course, is linked in the description. I used a 3.0 hook, and I'm pretty sure the pattern artist is a woman. I think she used a 5.0 hook. I don't use 5.0 hook anymore. That used to be my favorite size, and it's not. Now my favorite height. My favorite thing is not speaking English properly, apparently. My favorite hook size is 3.0. 3.0. That's the best hook size for amigurumi, I think. So, oh, also, there is some footage I have from a project that I scrapped, but I do think I mentioned it in the last video, so just for the sake of consistency, I'm gonna keep it in. Okay, the video starts with that footage. If you want to skip ahead to Garfield, then you just skip ahead to Garfield, and I'll see you there. I was not planning on doing an update on the body of this. I just wanted to make the limbs and not have this video be, 700 times longer than it needs to be. But this pattern really feels like a joke. And I know I've made this before, so I don't know why I feel that way. But if you go to the website and you look at the pattern, the increases are like all over the place. And it doesn't make sense in terms of the way that it's divided. Like if you were working like this from a chain, most of the increases to make the head wider would be on the sides here. Right? In line with the cheeks. And you can't really tell on screen, but in person, the thing is kind of, like, it's not straight, like flat. The pattern is twisted, like, it's warped. It's not, like, straight, like, across. It's, there's really no way I can show you unless you could see it in person. I was luckily smart enough to decide not to continue to follow the pattern exactly, but to only make my increases on the outside here, so that at least the cheeks would be in the right spot. If I had continued to follow the pattern in the way that it was written, I would have like a cheek over here and one in the back. And that's not what Garfield looks like. So I think this pattern is a joke. Or it's just poorly written, because obviously I'm working on the body, right? And it's one piece. And I chose to, let me bring up the pattern. I have it open right here. It's round, if you are going to make this pattern, it's round 43 of the body, or of the head and body combined, so round 43. It says single crochet 32, so that's from here, 32 stitches, which I'm not on that row now, so that's why there's a decrease here, but 32 stitches, and then you're increasing in the next 12 consecutive stitches. That's not typically how this is done. And so I had one part right here that was all like rippled, and I just decided to not do that. And I'm just gonna do, instead of after that, there's 2 consecutive rounds just going around with 1 stitch in each stitch, no increases or decreases. I decided to just skip the increases, and I'm just gonna do 3 rounds, and I'm gonna make it work with 12 less stitches in the body, because this pattern just feels like it's a prank. I don't know what about it just feels so wrong. Or like when closing the body, usually if you do 6, so this is 6 decrease, 6 single crochet, then a decrease, and then 6 single crochet, then a decrease. This pattern is 6 single crochet, decrease twice. So I have 2 decrease stitches, 6 single crochet, decrease twice, and then this is where I got distracted because it was time to read my Bible. So I don't know what's going on with this pattern, but we're gonna make it work. So I was, like I showed you, starting to close this off, right? But if I close it off right here, it's only gonna be like this much bigger, and there's not gonna be room for the arms and the legs. So I think what I'm gonna do, so I don't get irritated at this pattern and take the whole thing apart, is I'm just gonna extend it by maybe like 5 more rounds. Maybe 4, maybe 5. I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know. I don't know if this is the way this is supposed to look, but I finished it. I think it's gonna work out. Obviously this is the head, and this is the little pumpkin shaped body. I followed the pattern, so if it comes out looking weird, not my fault. So next I'm gonna make the ears, and then we'll go from there. It has now become very apparent that I have done something wrong with this, because this is the ear, and ear. And it's supposed to go on top of the head, right? We all know Garfield's got his ears on top of his head. This is the size of one ear compared to the head. I feel like they're just not gonna look right. A part of me wants to start over and do all this again. Part of me also does not want to do that. But if I'm gonna make it, I at least want it to look right. Or honestly, maybe I'll just pick a different project for this, because I'm not even in the mood to make this anymore. Now that it's going so wrong. Luckily, I have not gotten very far into it. It would be nothing for me to just take this apart and wind it back up. But I really do want to make Garfield. Maybe I'll make the second ear, because it wouldn't take much effort to just make the second ear, and see how both of them would look together. Because his ears are not pointed opposite directions. They're on the top of his head, but there's nothing to sew it to if I was to put it, you know, the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I've undone everything. And so I'm gonna restart, but instead of following the pattern where the increases say they are, I'm gonna put them where I know they should be, and hopefully this time it's gonna go better. This is my skein of yarn. Obviously it's in two different, this is what I had left, and this is what was the body and the ear. So I just want to show you before I start over again why I think this pattern is a joke. This is the shape I'm coming up with, following the pattern exactly as it's written. This weird cowboy hat looking shape where it's like, this is not right. I've made this pattern before and I do not remember it looking like this. Where am I gonna have space to sew on the ears? They're supposed to be sewn flat, not at an angle. There's not gonna be any room. I have to almost flatten this out completely to have space to put the ears. If I put the increases, this part that's so bowed out right here, these are the increases. This is where the pattern says to put them. There's no way this is right. I don't understand this pattern. Where I would normally put the increases where they go in the normal pattern is on the edges to make it no, just gonna, yeah, we're just gonna start over for the third time now. I'm honestly starting to feel like no matter how I make this pattern, it's not gonna look right, but I will say it's better this time. And this is me strictly keeping the increases to the edges where they would normally go. It still has this weird incline here, but I think it'll be better this time, because when I get the head, you know, stuffed, I can try to flatten out this top part here. Make it more like a little toy boat, and then it'll be easier to sew the ears. Because you know how Garfield looks, right? His ears are not over to the side like a regular cat ear. They're like right next to each other. So I'll figure it out. See, if I flatten down the edge points of both sides, then it's a more smoother decline. So I think this is going to go a lot better. Hopefully. This is going much better. I know the head shape looks exactly the same, but I promise it's going better. Once I got to the cheek part, which you can see is not as defined as it was the first time. Also, the head is much wider than it was. It was like the first time. When I got to the cheek part, I started putting the decreases kind of wherever, just evenly spacing them out, as long as I had the right amount of decreases per round. Then I still had like the right stitch count, and this is going much better. Also, I think the neck part was so wrong and the body was so big just because I can't read, apparently. Because, let me pull up the pattern. It's right here on my laptop. When I'm starting the head, because the head and the body is worked in one piece, obviously, right? Let's see. It says okay, round 28, if you ever look at this pattern, which of course is in the description. Round 28 says single crochet increase for the whole round. I think I read it as increase the whole round, so every stitch I did an increase the first time, and that's why it was so wide. And I was like, that doesn't look right, just because it wasn't. And then row 29 is single crochet 2 increase all around for a total of 41 stitches. And so that is much better. So now I'm on row 30, which is single crochet 11. Now, this is the increase in the next 8 stitches part. How am I going to fit 16? Can somebody do a mental math for me and do 57 divided by 16? Okay, thank you. And I will have to do that number of stitches between each increase, because I'm not putting 8 increases right next to each other. Absolutely not. That'll look really weird. So it's going to be, well, 3.5. You can't do 3.5 crochet stitches, so every 3 stitches I'll be putting an increase, but I'm not putting 8 increases right next to each other. It just always makes the thing like fan way out. It just doesn't ever look right. It always looks wrong. So I will not be doing that. So I don't even know if there's going to be enough. Anyway, as I was saying, so every 3 stitches, and I somehow have to fit 16 increases. By the end of this pattern, it's basically going to be my own pattern, but I would not, of course, credit it to myself because it's not my pattern. So every 3 stitches. And I don't understand why this pattern is so weird, because I've made patterns by this artist before. This page name is kind of funny. It's StringyDingDing. And I'm not joking. If you think I'm joking, I promise I'm not. I've made patterns from, I'm presuming it's a lady. I've made patterns from her before. Yeah, I guess that'll work out. Which would work because it's, you know, 1 single crochet and then for round 28 and then 2 single crochet for round 29. So round 30 would make sense to do 3 with an increase. So I will meet you back after round 32, which is just 2 rounds of single crochet. I will be back. This much better. It's more round now, not like oval shaped like it was before. It's round now, as it should be. I'm gonna have to write out the body pattern, just the body part, with the differences that I've made to it to make it make sense in my brain if I ever plan on making this again. But now we can finally move on from the body. So, well, I won't say it's went completely better till I'm finished with the body, but as of right now, it's better. As much as I want to make this, I do not have the patience for knitting. I'm sorry. People that knit projects, that make sweatshirts, God bless you, because I could never. This is just, it's annoying. It's so painfully slow that it's actually annoying. Maybe it's just because I don't like the magic loop method. Is just not for me. Which is, for some reason, the only way to work on this is to have to constantly. And I don't like it. I don't like knitting. Okay, legitimately, I only learned how to knit so I could say that it was worse than crocheting. And now that I've done both and I've actually tried to make something out of it, I still hold fast to my opinion. But I will concede, knitting is better for wearables. I've always thought crochet wearables were just not it, because most people use acrylic yarn, and it's so itchy. I made a cardigan, a crocheted one, half black and half white, and it looks really cool. Like, I love the way it came out half and half. But it's so itchy that I don't wear it. Honestly, I should just take it apart and salvage the yarn, because it just sits in my closet. This is already, I know this is going to be the same thing. Because if I was to wear it with a long sleeve shirt, of which I do have a black one, then it would be too hot. It doesn't get hot, sorry, it doesn't get cold in California, it just gets less hot. So as much as I've done here, I'm probably going to take this apart and I'm just going to forget it. If I ever make the color work cardigan that I want, like some elements of it may be knitted, like I might keep this since I already did the cuff. And then the rest of it would just be crocheted because that's just... I don't know. I like crochet more. And I did want to learn how to knit, and I did. Goal accomplished. But I also feel kind of stupid that there was like no point in learning how to knit if I wasn't gonna like... if I wasn't going to stick with it almost. Right? But wanting... Also, this is how I store these, by the way. It helps them not be like flopping all over the place. Just get one of these bulb stitch marker things. It keeps it round-ish. Anyway, and I will say that I do like cable needles more than these. A lot of people who begin just buy regular knitting needles. These are so annoying to use because they're too big. They are so long. They don't even fit in one camera frame. Anyway, I do like cable needles, and I also have used double pointed needles, and they're not as scary as people say they are. You can just buy some of, like these plain ones, these are called like needle point protectors. I bought these in a 4-pack from Hobby Lobby for like $2, and I use these on my double pointed needles as like an end guard or like a bumper to keep my stitches on. So if you're really worried about double pointed needles, you can invest in some of these. I only wanted to learn how to knit because I wanted to make a pair of socks, because I have a bunch of sock yarn from a yarn haul that I got a while ago, and I just don't think it's ever going to come to that because I don't have the patience, and I just don't like it. I don't think people who say that they like knitting are lying. This might be something for someone if they have a lot of free time, of which I do, because my manager thinks putting me on the schedule is illegal, like I said in the last video. But I like something that I can work through quickly. This is just too... I don't know. It's too much. It's not difficult, it's just annoying. I don't have the patience. That's what it comes down to. Me not having patience. So I might keep the cuff, because it's already a completed item, right? This is already its own piece. And then this would be easy to knit because I did this as a straight, like a panel, and then I sewed it into a circle, and it made a cuff. So this I might keep. But as for my colorwork cardigan, that idea is in the trash.
you.